All right, Insane Gamers, welcome another installation of the No Look podcast on Insane Games TV. Tyler, we got ourselves a jam-packed special episode, especially for us, right? The Bracket Boys. What better bracket could we be discussing than the March Madness bracket? They came out yesterday, Selection Sunday. They got it all figured out. I mean, this is our time of year right now. With that being said, Tyler and I did discuss pre-show. There will be a special edition episode Thursday. Before Thirsty Thursday, Tyler and I are giving you not one, but two episodes of the No Look podcast this week. There's just too many free agent signings, Tyler, stuff going on in the NFL world that we got to talk about. But today, it's all about the March Madness.
All about March Madness, all about basketball. My favorite time of the year. I actually, Austin, just moved into a new office for work. I told you this. I have my own personal office, and I pleaded with my bosses. I said, please put a TV in my room. I think it will be great to have to kind of shoot, pictures of our design and stuff like that. Nah, I'm really trying to airplay some NCAA basketball this week all the way in. Thursday's going to be jam-packed. Friday even more. Saturday, Sunday, I'll be watching it, hopefully getting wasted.
No, that's funny too because they have it on the CBS website. I don't know if you've ever used it, but there's a little button that says like office mode or something. So if someone walks in, you click it and it pops up like some bullshit spreadsheet. So Tyler will be in there like just chilling. Someone knocks on his door.
Numbers.
Oh, yeah. Nothing to see here, just preparing a new presentation for the company. But all right, let's not wait. Let's get right into it. I'm excited. I love this time of year, especially being a UConn fan, Tyler. This is the first time they've been in it in I think like 3 years. And
last time they were in it was 2015, 2016.
Was it? All right, so it's been a little bit.
Yeah. Even longer.
Also, with that being said, they didn't even have to win the Big East tournament or the AAC tournament to get in. They had a good enough record. So that was pretty cool. We got a lot of dark horses in here, a couple of stories we might be able to talk about. And shit, let's get right into it. Tyler, you got the screen right here?
Yep.
We got the bracket pulled up. So I'm not sure how.
Austin's already got the coin flip ready to go.
I got the coin flip ready.
We don't have to use this too much.
Well, I think we're going to use it a lot because it's definitely going to come down to a few teams that we won't agree on. But Tyler, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I feel like a lot of the perfect or near perfect brackets are almost done at random, whether it's someone picking jersey colors or doing some sort of coin flip. I think they had like fish or a turtle, octopus picking it one year. Just crazy methods. So I think if we get a little bit of both our knowledge and some luck, some serendipity, we might not be too bad. So might as well, you wanna do the whole first round and then we'll go into the next round. You want to do a whole region of the bracket? How you want to go about it?
No, let's do it round by round. I think that would be the easiest.
Okay. Excuse me as I'm taking a sip of water. So the first matchup we have here, the number one overall seed, Gonzaga. I believe, Tyler, they're still undefeated until this point. So they're going to be the heavy favorites in this tournament for sure. Versus a play-in game. I'm not sure what that one team is. I think the other might be Appalachian State. It says APP.
Yeah, Norfolk and Appalachian State.
Okay. So, I mean, for me, I don't really see any upsets happening yet. Gonzaga, number one seed. I don't think we're going to have any type of Virginia upset scenario. I would have to think Gonzaga is going to pull this one out.
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy one. Gonzaga all the way.
No. All right. We're back online. Little technical difficulties. Let's see. We'll dive back into this matchup, I think, when it cut out. Creighton versus University of California, Santa Barbara, as Tyler just informed me. So, Tyler, I posed you the question. Creighton, they've been good all year. They've been a strong team in the Big East, but they are coming off a loss against Georgetown in the Big East championship game. Do you think that factors into how they're going to play? Maybe they're not on a hot, streak, if you will?
Well, like I said, I think they're definitely shook. They thought that they were going to win the Big East, and I think the 5 versus 12 matchup poses most of the upsets in the NCAA tournament, probably in history.
Hmm.
Santa Barbara coming off of a conference championship. I like them a little bit more here, Austin. They're 22-4, going up against 20-8 Creighton. I think it's going to be a close game throughout. I think you're going to see an upset though here with Santa Barbara.
Okay. See, I want this to be an upset, but I have my upset is actually in this next matchup, the 4 versus 13. So I'm gonna lean towards Creighton. Does that mean we got our first coin flip?
I think that's what that means.
All right. So I think
Heads Creighton, tails Santa Barbara.
yeah, we'll just do heads on top for from now on.
Yep.
Top team, tails, Santa Barbara. So here we go, chat. First coin flip of the night. And it goes with tails. So it looks like we got our first upset right here, the 12 versus the 5. It'll be interesting.
You might as well keep that coin flip app up because I don't think Virginia is losing to Ohio.
All right. Well, I guess you want to go into that? You feel strongly about Virginia this year?
I don't think that they're the Virginia pass, but I do think that they're a stronger team than this Ohio team this year. I do love me some action, but I think Virginia wins this.
So Virginia's been strong all year. There's no doubt about that. The only thing I have a strong feeling about Ohio, Tyler, they're coming off a conference tournament win to punch their ticket into the tournament. Also, I'm not sure if you were aware, there's a player, and I'm not positive of his name, but there's a story going around, maybe one of the best stories in college basketball this year. Player who was unrecruited by any D1 schools. He worked his way, I think he played like a prep school or community college, worked his way onto the roster.
Oh.
Now he's their star player. And he's putting up, like, I don't know if he's averaging 20, but he dropped 20 in the championship game. I just feel like if there's any kind of March Madness storyline, Tyler, it's going to be circulating this player, who I can't think of his name, I apologize, and number 13, Ohio. So, I don't...
Well, I just think Virginia's too strong. I think they're too strong for Ohio. So let's get that coin flip back.
Let's get a coin
baby.
flip. We'll see if my gut can lead to fate. Back-to-back tails, of course not.
Oh!
So Tyler wins 2 coin flips in a row. He got his upset with the 12. I didn't get mine with the 13. I guess we'll see, Tyler.
Hey, I would love nothing more than a Virginia team that gets shaken up by that guy, but I just think.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's going to come out and have a good game. Just any kind of story with a type of player like that. I know he's just not going to go and lay down. But as fate has it, the coin flip has decided for Virginia in their favor. Excuse me. Our next matchup, we got USC, University of Southern California, versus a play-in game. Number 11 is at Wichita State versus Drake. It looks like.
Now let me tell you something, Austin. I literally hate the fact that they have playing games for the 11 seed. I think that is the most annoying thing for people that are picking brackets, because I think if Wichita State wins against Drake, they have a better shot of beating USC than Drake does versus USC.
I agree with you there. I feel like this is a tough seed to put a play-in game. But with that being said, I'm a heavy USC fan this year. They're one of my dark horse teams. So really, in my opinion, I don't think it matters who wins. So you saying you want to force another?
No, I agree with you. I think I'm gonna go with USC.
Okay.
I think that they're very strong this year. And honestly, I remember playing not as a callback to our past episode with favorite games of all time, but NCAA 2K8. I loved USC with OJ Mayo.
Yeah. It's a fun squad. I like the jerseys, the colorway. So, in addition to that, I just think they're a good overall team this year. Next matchup, we got 3 Kansas versus 14 Eastern Washington. Not too familiar with the Kansas Jayhawks this year, but with that being said, I know Bill Self is always going to get that team tournament ready. At the 3 seed, I don't really see Eastern Washington giving them a run for their money.
Well, looking on paper, Eastern Washington 16-7 versus a 20-8 Kansas team. it's too strong for me to go against Kansas, I would say.
Yeah.
Like you said, Bill Self, tournament ready always. I feel like his teams are always in the Final Four.
They're always in contention somehow, whether they have big name guys or not. So we're in agreement on that one. Next matchup, 7 Oregon versus 10 VCU. Tyler, this is no longer a Shaka Smart VCU team. I'm not sure how they've been playing all year long. I know Oregon primarily has a pretty solid squad year in, year out. I would have to just stay true to the seeds on this one and go with Oregon.
I'm gonna agree with you. Oregon 20-6, VCU 19-7. I think Oregon. I feel like they always play really hard defense in the tournaments, and they always hit those 3 balls.
Yeah, no, they always come to play. They're primarily a fast team, if I'm not mistaken. Run the fast break pretty well, rebound well. Another team that traditionally rebounds well, number 2 Iowa versus 15 Grand Canyon. Tyler, I didn't even know Grand Canyon was a school before right now, if I'm being honest with you. I thought it was just a national treasure, a landmark. But Iowa is one of my favorite teams in this tournament as well, so I'm definitely favoring towards them.
Fran McCaffrey just signed a contract with Iowa, former Siena great, for until I believe 2028. Dude's feeling ready. Luke Garza just got his jersey hung in the rafters. He's still playing for Iowa. Luke Garza, Austin, I'm calling it now. Tournament MVP this year. He's gonna be in tournament. He's gonna be a tournament first team All-American. He's gonna average 25 plus, 12 rebounds, easy.
Wow.
Iowa in the shit pumping game of the tournament, destroying Grand Canyon. I hope I don't jinx him, but
yeah, because Tyler's shit pumping games usually don't fare well with his predictions. But yeah, I think Iowa's one of the best teams in this tournament. I also, like you said, old Siena coach Fran McCaffrey. You kind of got to root for the guy a little bit, hometown team somewhat. So that's our first round in the West bracket, or West region of the bracket, excuse me. Pop over to the South region. We got the number 1 seed Baylor versus 16 Hartford. Not much to say here. Baylor should walk away with this one.
Baylor shit pumps them as well, I think. But Oregon's too strong Baylor's too strong. I got the colors mixed up this year, and I feel like you said Oregon plays that fast-paced offense. Baylor really plays that fast-paced offense, and they don't really shoot that many threes. They go straight to the rim. They're going to take it to your throat.
Yeah, they usually have a pretty good big man up front, rebounding, getting those points in the paint. Tyler, an interesting matchup right here in the 8-9 matchup. Now, North Carolina versus Wisconsin. North Carolina, I know they've struggled all this year. They're, not a traditional North Carolina team. But if I had to say, we're talking about Bill Self always getting their teams tournament ready. I know Roy Williams is going to do the same thing. So I'd probably have to lean to that Tar Heel blue.
This is tough for me because UNC is my second favorite NCAA basketball team, right behind Syracuse. I'm going to have to say let the fate play with the coin flip. Now, okay. I know some of the viewers at home are going to be disgusted with me, particularly one, because he's a big UNC fan. But I don't know. Wisconsin always plays tough in the NCAA tournament, especially with that defense. They usually only let up about 50 points a game.
Yeah, I don't hate the coin flip on this matchup. So heads NC, tails Wisconsin. And it is heads, so North Carolina is going to move on.
Probably saved me. I'm not too mad at it.
By the coin flip fate, if you will. Next matchup here, Tyler. Villanova, number 5 seed.
An interesting one.
Versus Winthrop. Tyler, I know he's heavy about the 12 seed.
Let me tell you something, Austin. Let me tell you something. I don't mean to cut you off so quick. Winthrop is 23-1. Versus a Villanova team that's 16-6. Now, I love Jay Wright. Villanova is always tough in the tournament. But let's not count out a team that only lost 1 game this year.
The odds are definitely in their favor, Tyler. My only thing is, if I'm not mistaken, Georgetown beat Villanova in the semis of the Big East tournament. So yes, they're coming off a loss. On the other side of it, they also had, an extra 2 weeks to rest up and get prepared. Jay Wright.
I think that hinders basketball teams more than anything, though. When you don't got those game leg, day ready legs, you're gonna play lackluster. You're gonna play, pretty soft, pretty slow.
See, I see that.
I like Winthrop on this one.
All right, I see that in the Creighton matchup because they're coming off a loss and they still played that game. But Villanova, yeah, they're not hot right now on a win streak by any means. But at the same time, they've had an extra week to prepare, rest up. I think I got to put this one to a coin flip. I would be beside myself if I, just kind of side with you on Winthrop and they got stomped. So let's see what Fate has to say. Another heads. So Villanova's going to move on. Tyler doesn't like that one. Hey, we're 2-2 right now with the coin flips. We each won 2. So next matchup, 4 Purdue versus 13 North Texas, Tyler. I don't know what kind of stats you have, but I feel like North Texas has kind of made some noise in this tournament in years past.
I agree. I mean, it's a pretty even matchup. Purdue 18-9, North Texas 17-9. I mean, honestly, if you're going North Texas,
I kind of feel this one.
If you feel it, I felt Winthrop, so we should just put this to a coin flip with my petty ass.
Tyler can't go softly into the night. He's got to get a little coin flip action. I don't hate it. So Purdue heads, North Texas tails.
3 heads in a row.
Nope. Oh. Tails never fails, especially on this one. Hey, you got your upset with the UCSB. I think this is one of my upsets in the bracket. I have this one on my personal bracket. Next game, Texas Tech versus 11 Utah State. Tyler, if I'm not mistaken, Texas Tech has been in the top 25 or top 30 teams all year long. They've had some bad losses. They've had some good wins. Overall, I just think they're a strong tournament team.
Texas Tech, I've never liked any team out of the Big 12. I just feel like they're never great in the tournament, especially with like a team that's not in first place like Baylor. I think Utah State actually pulled.
Didn't they go to the Elite Eight a couple years back, the last tournament?
Yeah, but they had some. I forget what guy they had, but they had a guy that went into the NBA draft. So they had someone who was actually, a NBA ready player. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too privy on who's who in this tournament. I'm looking at the record. Utah State 20-8 versus Texas Tech, who's 17-10.
Mm-hmm.
This 6-11 matchup's tough because I think Texas Tech is going to get beat by this Utah State team. But I will agree with you. I will go Texas Tech.
I thought we were going to do 3 coin flips in a row.
So my theory is I'm going to go with whoever gives me the best gut reaction. I'm gonna ride with Texas Tech on this one.
Yeah, I think they have a good resume as far as tournament goes. I don't know. I feel like they'd come in this one strong. Next matchup, we got 3 Arkansas versus 14 Colgate. Not too, privy to Colgate and how their season went, but I know Arkansas, and I guess Arkansas, Tyler, was the team I was thinking of now, seeing their 3 seed. When I said earlier, I thought it was Oklahoma. These guys have been like top 10, top 15 all year long. They got the 3 seed in the tournament. I just know they're a strong team this year. They got a well-rounded roster. I don't think there's going to be an upset here.
Just like Winthrop, Colgate also only lost 1 game, but they only played 15 games.
Yeah, and what conference?
Arkansas, who the fuck knows what conference? I think they are in Rochester, New York, so, New York boys. But Arkansas, they're always fast-paced. They always play heavy. I'm gonna side with you on this one. I'm definitely picking Arkansas. I think they're gonna show Colgate what a real NCAA basketball team plays like.
Okay. Next matchup, 7 versus 10, Florida versus Virginia Tech. I'm gonna turn over to the stats man because I'm not too sure which way I'm feeling on this one.
Virginia Tech disgusting this year with their record 15-16,
Oh.
not even 500. They don't even deserve to be in a conversation right now. Just purely based off their record, I'm going with Florida. Virginia Tech, get your shit up, get your stats up, get your muscle up. I'm going with Florida.
Did they win the ACC tournament? Is that how they got their ticket punch?
They must have. They must have beat somebody that was very good. I don't even know. Because
off that,
look at 15 and 16 in a fucking tournament bracket, I'm like, why are you even here?
For a 10 seed too, huh? That's interesting.
It's like inviting your cousin that you hate, like the one in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's like inviting the cousin snail you always hate and just make fun of them the whole time because they're so bad.
Salt the snail, salt the snail. I agree with you. Next matchup, 2 Ohio State versus 15 Oral Roberts. Tyler, we got a Big Ten school. I know you don't like Ohio State traditionally, but for me, I feel like they're just too good in this matchup.
I agree. 2 versus 15, though, a lot of upsets happen. I just don't think Oral Roberts has the gall to beat Ohio State this year.
No, I'm glad we're on the same page for that one. Moving over to the East bracket, Tyler, or I keep saying bracket, East region. This might be my favorite region, couple reasons, but the number 1 seed, Michigan. Yeah, a couple reasons, not just that, but a couple. So we have number 1 Michigan versus 16, a playing game, MSM/TXSO. Not sure if you got the
Texas
teams.
Southern, Mount St. Mary.
All right. Michigan, they've been strong all year long. I don't see any upsets happening here.
Michigan, definitely. They're one of my favorites to win it all this year, just a heads up. I think they just shit pump the shit out of whoever they face. Doesn't even matter. Put on Michigan State. They're gonna beat them. Put on UNC. Put on whoever team you want. Michigan will wallop them first round, coming off a Big Ten. Well, they lost the Big Ten championship, but they still got the 1 seed. But Juwan Howard, he's going for blood. He's trying to be I think he's trying to be the first coach to ever win it playing and also as a coach.
That'd be pretty impressive, not going to lie. So we got Michigan on that one. Next matchup, the 8 versus 9, LSU versus St. Bonaventure. Tyler, again, I might defer to you with the stats. The only thing I can say, St. Bonaventure, they're an upstate New York team, if I'm not mistaken. So I might lean towards them with that, just solely off of that reason.
Right. I'm going with the Bonnies on this one. St. Bonaventure, 16-4, tough team this year, facing LSU. I usually historically love LSU, but I don't know. Based on the record, might have to go with my hometown state team. Yeah,
that's really the only reason I have any ties to them. So we go on St. Bonaventure, the Bonnies on that one. Next matchup, Tyler, you smell that? Chat, you smell that? I smell a little upset in the works. Tyler, 5 Colorado versus number 12 Georgetown, who, as I mentioned, just beat in the semis a 5th seed in this tournament, Villanova, and another 5th seed in Creighton. I feel like ever since there was that whole issue at MSG with Patrick Ewing, that whole team just has a fire lit under their asses, and they're playing some good basketball right now. So I'm calling an upset alert on this one. I'm going with Georgetown.
You don't know who I am? Look in the Raptors, baby. I'm Patrick Ewing. Go with Georgetown, baby.
Golly.
Upset City.
Names in the Raptors, you don't know who he is?
That weed if they think they're going to upset Georgetown. I know it's legal in Colorado. You ain't doing shit, though, against Patrick Ewing.
I love the energy. I love the energy. And I'm glad we're on the same page. Next matchup, 4 Florida State versus 13 UNC Greensboro. What do you got for this one? You got any outstanding records? Or anything
State,
crazy?
16-6. UNC Greensboro 21-8. I love Florida State's head coach though. I think I forget his name. I just know that this dude always prepares well. I just think Florida State's going to be too strong for them, and I'm really excited for this Florida State Georgetown matchup if it were to happen.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you on that one, and if I had to put my money on it, I'd say that we'll definitely get that matchup. So the next matchup in the first round, we have 6 BYU, another playing game, 11 Michigan State versus UCLA. I know Michigan State's been up and down. They have some good wins, some bad losses. But with that being said, I think BYU's just been a strong team year long. I don't really see any upsets going down in this one.
Well, I'll tell you something. Michigan State ain't doing shit. They're definitely losing to UCLA, so it's going to be BYU UCLA. But I agree with you. I think BYU has a stronger team. They probably have about 4 guys on their roster that's about 35 years old, thanks to the Mormon trips that they take. So their muscles up. So I'm gonna go with BYU on this one.
They're grown men. No dad muscles, though, because they can't do sex over there at BYU. But they're still strong nonetheless. Next matchup, Tyler, 3 Texas versus 14 Abilene Christian. Abilene. Tyler, stats, no stats. I'm excited about this Texas team, especially you and I in our past brackets. We always talk about this sneaky 3 seed. Shaka Smart, he's got them playing, the way he promised he would when he first came to this organization, and I think Texas just runs away with it.
Everybody's talking about Abilene Christian 23-4, Texas at 19-7. Texas coming off of the Big 12 championship, though. Like you said, don't be closing your eyes on this Texas team. I know it's going to be the battle of the Texases in this matchup because they're both from Texas. Hook 'em, baby. Go Texas.
Go Texas. And in this next matchup, let me get a little U action. UConn versus number 10 Maryland. Tyler, if you make me do a coin flip on this one, I will fly down to Tampa and I will fucking strangle you. Everybody knows how UConn is come March, come tournament time. Dan Hurley, he's got these guys playing well. James Bouknight, Tyler, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the name, but this guy, he's an all Big East first team player. Guy, he's going to be an NBA superstar. He's long, he can shoot the 3, he can get to the rim. They still got perimeter shooters and Tyler Polley, who I thought would have graduated 5 years ago. He's still hanging around. They got Isaiah Whaley. Not Bongo, but there's a big man, a center they have, just got named to the Big East tournament first team. I know I'm talking a lot because I'm passionate about UConn, but I'm going with the Huskies.
I respect it. I mean, I'm in agreement with you. Dan Hurley as my coach, I'm running through a fucking brick wall because that guy was the guy that was at Indiana. He played under Pat Knight. That guy is not going to lose in the first round of the tournament, especially to Maryland. Who? Maryland. UConn all the way.
I think you might be confusing Dan Hurley and Bobby Hurley, his brother.
You're right. But I do love Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley,
he coached for Rhode Island, and he got them pretty far into the tournament. That's kind of what boosted his stock.
You're right. But any Hurley brother, you could put Dan Hurley, Bobby Hurley, Dwight Hurley out there. I'm fucking picking UConn.
Fucking Dwight Schrute could be coaching him. I'm picking UConn. Number 2 versus number 15, Alabama versus Iona. Tyler, I don't know. Iona, a MAC team, kind of not really hometown, but you get a little upset fever here.
Iona's getting that work, baby. Alabama's playing out of their minds this year. I think they're fun to watch, and I think you're going to see why in the next matchup they're a serious contender when they go up against UConn.
Okay. I don't feel strongly enough to push it to a coin flip. I'll side with you in Alabama. I know they're a good team, so.
I do think you're right, though. Iona is a tough team. They're going to play hard. It's probably going to be a close game. I just think Alabama squeaks out with the W.
I don't know. You said it earlier, that 2 versus 15 matchup we get a decent amount of upsets from, and I don't think we've picked any yet. We'll see what happens in this next region. To our final region, the Midwest first round, number 1 Illinois. They've been strong all year long. They just won the Big Ten tournament, right? If I'm not mistaken, they had one of their players recreate the iconic Kobe photos of when he's in the locker room. He's got the, Larry O'Brien trophy, where in this case they have their tournament trophy, which I thought that was pretty cool. Going up against 16 Drexel, I think they're just going to be too much.
No, I agree. Illinois is probably one of the toughest teams, toughest 1 seeds, I would say. First time being the 1 seed since they went to a national championship back in like 03, 04, when they had D Brown at point guard. I love this Illinois team. I think they're the real deal for sure.
Yep. moving on to the 8 versus 9 matchup, Tyler. Loyola Chicago versus Georgia Tech. Don't know too much about these guys. I'd almost push it to a coin flip just to see what comes out with it.
See, I don't think it should go to a coin flip. Loyola Chicago's playing great this year. Probably the best mid-major there is. They're at 24-4 going up against a soft 17-8 Georgia Tech team. I like this Loyola Chicago team winning against Georgia Tech.
All right, I'll defer to you on this one. So we got Illinois versus Loyola Chicago in the next round. Next matchup of this first round in the Midwest region, we have 5 Tennessee versus 12 Oregon State. Tennessee, they're a Power 5 conference school. I just think they get better recruits, and I know they've been playing well all year long. Don't know much about the Oregon State team, but I'm just going to have to lean to Tennessee on this one.
Oh, Rocky Top, you and me. I'm going UT all the way. Tennessee, my sister's alma mater.
Okay.
I love seeing Tennessee in the tournament again. Reminds me of those Bruce Pearl days. Oregon State, I don't even know who the hell is on their team. I'm surprised they're even a school. UT all the way, baby.
All right. Tyler, next matchup, 4 Oklahoma State versus 13 Liberty. What's that smell, Tyler?
What's that? What's that in the air?
I smell another upset! Upset alert! 13 Liberty's gonna take down number 4 Oklahoma State. I feel it in my knee, Tyler.
Well, your knee must be attached to my knee because I feel it. Like
right.
Phil Collins said on the Tarzan track, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Liberty, my number 1 dark horse this year.
Ooh.
I think they're the team to beat that's ranked above the 10 seed, playing out of their minds. Let's go, Liberty.
All right, let's go, Liberty.
Didn't you go to Liberty?
Huh?
Didn't you go to Liberty? Or was that Liberty College?
The hell are you talking about?
What school did you go to?
Tony Empire State?
Oh, Empire. I got Liberty and Empire mixed up.
I went to a fucking online school, my guy. What are we talking about? I didn't go to no Liberties. Would have been cool, especially this year. But no. So, next matchup, Tyler. We got a little sneaky one. 6 San Diego State versus 11 Syracuse. The hometown team for you and I, pretty much. I mean, if you go to any TJ Maxx in the tri-state area, they got Syracuse clothing. Being a UConn fan, I've definitely worn some stuff, some shorts, some shirts, just like I said, cheap pickup at TJ Maxx. Tyler's going back to back with the Zins. He needs a little bit of extra energy. Oh, he's got the Cool Mint this time too. You like the Cool Mint?
Cool Mint. That's all they had.
Oh boy.
Right. Since we brought it up, this episode of the No Look podcast and Tyler's Energy is sponsored by Zin Cool Mint. Racetrack, the gas station, that's all they had was Cool Mint, so I was kind of subjected to it. It's not bad. It gives
terrible.
you a nice breath too.
Yeah. Don't even need to brush your teeth. Just pop in a Cool Mint Zin. I don't know, Tyler. I might smell a little Syracuse upset here. Jim Boeheim tournament ready. What?
San Diego State absolutely they just get through the zone, no problem in this game. Syracuse is soft. Buddy Boeheim isn't as good as everybody thinks. JG3, I know you're from my area. Get on the No Look podcast and discuss this, because I know your ass ain't doing anything against San Diego State this year. San Diego State beats Syracuse handily, and that hurts to say as a Syracuse fan.
Not only are we talking about hometown Syracuse, you're going against the Glens Falls graduate, Joe Girard III. You don't want to see our boys succeed?
No, I want to see him succeed when he puts up numbers like he did in high school. But until then, he's not beating San Diego State this year. I promise you that.
Well, Tyler, I'm sorry, but I got to take this to a coin flip.
Let me tell you something, too. My dad, avid Syracuse fan, he was the reason why I grew up loving Syracuse. Text me today. He says, "Oh, Syracuse is going to beat San Diego State." I said, "Big Tim, listen here. I know you're old, but I know you ain't ready to go into the old person's home yet. Syracuse is not upsetting San Diego State."
I don't know. I'm rolling with Big Tim on this one. We got to do a little coin flip. Head San Diego State, tails Syracuse, Tyler. Oh, and it's heads. Oh shit! Wait, I thought it was Syracuse. Fuck, San Diego State. God damn you! All right, maybe there's not a little upset in the water with Syracuse. I beg to differ, but we'll see what happens. Next matchup here: number 3 West Virginia, 14 Morehead State. Another, coach. If we're talking about getting teams tournament ready, Bob Huggins. This guy has been in the tournament more years than he hasn't. I mean, he's done quite well in these tournaments as well. I don't know much about the team this year specifically, but at the 3 seed, I'd have to choose them.
Siri, play Take Me Home by John Denver, because I'm riding with West Virginia on this one. Blue Ridge Mountains all the way. Morehead State, more like more shit in your state.
Wow.
They ain't beating West Virginia this year.
More shit in your state. All right, I like that one right there. Next matchup, we got 7 Clemson versus 10 Rutgers. Statman, what do we have for these two teams?
Clemson 16-7 this year. Rutgers 15-11 out of Passaic, New Jersey. Oh, I'm gonna have to roll with Clemson on this one. I think they play in a tougher conference. A little bit more ready, I would say, for the tournament than Rutgers, but I wouldn't be against a coin flip if you go otherwise.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, let's do a coin flip on this one. I got a weird feeling about Rutgers in this matchup. So we'll see what fate has to say about it. Goes with heads, Tyler, and you were correct, I guess you could say. You had a good feeling about them. Coin flip, fate chose Clemson. Next matchup, number 2, Houston versus 15, Cleveland State. Tyler, you said the 15 seed traditionally has good odds to upset. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen at all in this tournament. Houston at the number 2 seed is another one of my favorites. Can't really call them a dark horse just because of how high they are with the seed, but they've been playing strong all year long, and I'd have to go with them.
At 24-3, it's hard to say that they're a dark horse, but I agree with you. They're like that sneaky dark horse that you're like, Houston. They haven't been good since Akeem Olajuwon. But I agree, Houston, we have a problem, and they have taken liftoff.
All right. Houston might not have a problem unless Cleveland State comes to play. So that's what we got for our first round, Tyler. Let's pop up back to the West region, revisiting number 1 Gonzaga versus 9 Missouri. We were kind of on the fence about this 8-9 matchup, not feeling strongly about either team. So, Gonzaga, we know what we're getting. Undefeated. They come in at the number 1 overall seed. I'm going to have to lean towards the Zags.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I think Gonzaga is a good team. I don't think they're worthy of a 1 seed in my honest opinion, but due to their record, they are. But I think Gonzaga beats Missouri kind of handedly.
Okay. Moving on here, Tyler's pick were the upset. UCSB versus Virginia, Tyler. These are both of your picks right here that you won off of coin flips. What do you think? Do we get the upset again? We got a Cinderella team here, or is Virginia going to handle business?
I think it's going to be a close game. I really do. I think UCSB, if they come off that win against Creighton, they're going to be feeling themselves. Just beat a Big East team. I think they go to the Sweet 16 though. Virginia ain't that strong.
Wow.
They ain't got Cinderella's glass slipper on their foot like UCSB does this matchup. I'm leaning towards Santa Barbara. I also really would like to go to Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have anything, but
California. Hopefully I'll see you soon. It's the plan, at least. And definitely nice weather out there. It agrees with me, Tyler. The climate agrees with me. I'll lean with you on this one. UCSB with the upset. A little bit of Cinderella moment, if you will. Next matchup, Tyler. 6 USC versus number 3 Kansas. What do you got for these guys?
Well, like I said before, USC 22-7. Kansas at 20-8. But it's Bill Self. He's gonna have this team ready. I'm rocking Rock Chalk Jayhawk on this one. I don't feel good about it, but that's what the gut is saying.
All right. Well, I would have to disagree with you on this one. Like I mentioned earlier, USC, one of my teams, if you will, a dark horse. I guess you can call them at the 6th seed. I mean, I just think they've played too much basketball. Like you said, how many games they play? Like almost 30. They have a lot of experience. They have a good record. They have the good wins on their resume, and I think they pick up another one here. So it looks like we're going to go up against another coin flip. We'll see what we get for this one. Heads, maybe? No. God damn you. Tails, Kansas. Fuck you, Tyler. I don't know. I think USC might pull that one out. But Tyler and I, we don't have a crystal ball. We have no idea what's going to happen. If we did, we'd get the tournament right every year.
You know what, Austin?
What's that?
I'm whipping out the reverse Uno card. Let's go USC, baby. You just ran me through a fucking brick wall with that speech. Now I'm feeling USC.
The Trojans, baby.
Means no more. We just got you on the Trojan horse. I fooled your ass. Go USC.
I don't know if we can do this, but we didn't click submit yet, so we're going to go back in time and click USC. Tyler came to his senses on this one. I think you made the right choice for this, Tyler. Next matchup, 7 Oregon versus 2 Iowa. Again, Fran McCaffrey, this Iowa team, they've been strong all year long. I think they get it done here.
If my speech in the first round didn't get you fired up about Iowa, I don't know what will. But I think Iowa beats Oregon pretty handedly this game.
Glad we're in agreement on that one. Number 2, Iowa. Moving on, hopping over to the South region. We got number 1 Baylor versus number 8 North Carolina, which, Tyler, was a coin flip decision. So with that being said, clearly neither of us feel strong about this Tar Heel team. And yeah, that's all I got to say about this. I think Baylor runs away with it.
Roy Willie, I love you. You know you're the best coach there ever was at UNC, maybe even over Dean Smith. But Baylor's just too strong this year. Go Baylor.
What are the Bears, right? Baylor Bears.
Baylor Bears.
And they have not that they're going to play there, but they have a sick court. I thought I just had to throw that out there. Next matchup, number 5 Villanova versus 13 North Texas, Tyler. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards the upset on this. Get another Cinderella in there with the 13 seed North Texas. Like I said, Villanova. I mean, I kind of said that Villanova is going to benefit from that extra week off. You feel the otherwise. What do you think about this matchup?
I would say it's a pretty even matchup record-wise. I just think Jay Wright with this Villanova squad going to have a little bit more experience than North Texas. I think it's going to be a close game. I really do. I think, points, like 1 or 2, maybe even 3. But I'm going to have to side with Villanova on this one. I'm just not strongly sold on this North Texas team.
Yeah, I'll lean with you on that one. I'm not super confident in that team enough to put it to a coin flip. So I'll ride with you on this one. Villanova, they did have a strong season overall, and I think Jay Wright will get those guys situated enough to flourish in this tournament.
Will Jay Wright get them right?
Oh, different spelling, same sounding. Villanova is going to do some North Texas pounding. Ahaha.
Oh.
Moving on to the next matchup, we got 6 Texas Tech versus 3 Arkansas. Damn, Tyler, I don't know. You got any specific stats that make you lean one way or the other? I think this will be a really good game. Arkansas might have to lean in their favor just because of the seed and just how they played all year long.
I think I'm going with Arkansas on this one, and the only reason being is based off of who they're facing in the first round. Facing a good Colgate team, obviously only lost 1 game. Arkansas is going to be even more ready for the next round. I think they're just a better team than Texas Tech this year. Hell, I'm not even sure I even know one person on Texas Tech or their head coach. So
no.
rocking the, what are they? They're the
Razorbacks.
Razorbacks, brother.
It's a pretty cool name. Nice little logo. They got the hog out there.
Wow, dogs.
Next matchup, 7 Florida versus 2 Ohio State, Tyler. I know Ohio State on paper is better, but I don't know. I feel like Florida, I don't know. What do you think?
as a Penn State fan, I hate Ohio State more than anything on earth, and this pains me to say, but I think Ohio State comes out with the dub on this one against Florida. I just don't think Florida has enough to do it. Ohio State is a much stronger team this year, purely based off record. So I'm going to have to lean towards Ohio State on this one.
Like you said, T, that's big coming from you, a Penn State fan. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. I don't know, Florida, they don't have any sexy names on the roster this year. No one that I think could, carry that team to an upset over Ohio State. So moving on now, down to the East region.
Ooh.
Number 1, Michigan versus number 9, St. Bonaventure, Tyler. I know we kind of lean towards St. Bonaventure just because they're a little bit closer in proximity to where we grew up. But that being said, Michigan, number 1 seed, they played well all year. They did lose in the Big Ten tournament, right? You said, but
yep. It's Illinois.
I don't know. I feel like they still just have a better team on paper, and I don't know. They don't really have any bad losses this year. I think they come prepared.
I agree. Juwan Howard, when it comes to the NCAA tournament, he's going to have this team ready. Michigan by not a landslide, but by 10 points easy plus.
And a landslide falls down. Sorry.
It's almost like we're playing a little Twitch karaoke tonight.
Little Twitch sings action, yeah. Hopefully, Dan, we don't get DMCA'd because our angelic voices might trip the Twitch computer robot that monitors. Next matchup, Tyler, we were talking about this when we discussed the first round matchups, saying this was going to be a good one. I think I'm riding with the upset on this one with Georgetown coming in hot. I think they have like 3 straight wins in that Big East tournament. Like I said, they beat Villanova, they beat Creighton, Patrick Ewing versus Juwan Howard. That just sounds hot. Getting these NBA greats, college basketball greats, with their alma maters, right? I mean, this is just a dream matchup for college basketball fans.
So Leonard Hamilton, coach for Florida State, had to look it up. I love this guy. Actually, I saw the news. He just got a contract extension for 5 years. He's probably feeling good about himself, but there's nobody feeling good about himself more than Patrick Ewing right now in this Georgetown Hoya team. I'm riding with you on this upset. I didn't even know coming in that I was going to pick Georgetown this far, especially being a Cuse fan. But, I want to see Juwan Howard versus Patrick Ewing more than anybody right now.
That'd be a sick matchup, if I'm being honest. Mark checking in just picked 11 bracket on ESPN Challenge. Well, you're saying you did 11 brackets, Mark? Who do you got winning it all? BYU versus Texas, Tyler.
He's got about like 5 or like 700,000 more to get the absolute odds in his favor.
I wonder if there's got to be. I'm surprised there's no one that has like a computer that can just like auto sim every different combination and just enter like a million brackets.
Right, but I'm pretty sure you need like email addresses to kind of you need a million email addresses in order to do that.
Well, you can do multiple entries like through one account. I'm not sure if there's a limit. There probably is. Woo, what's Yep Blonde? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mark. Woo, what's Yep Blonde's smart pick? Anyways, moving on. Sorry, got a little distracted. Reading the chat here because we are, for the viewers, the No Look Podcast, Insane Games TV. 6 BYU, number 3 Texas.
What do we call the viewers at home, Austin? Just so they know.
Oh, the Lookers. Tyler coined that nickname for our viewers, the Lookers at home. You guys rocking with us on the No Look Podcast. We appreciate you for tuning in. Tyler, Texas, Shaka Smart. I know we talked about it in the first round. I just think they're too strong. Hook 'em, baby. Tyler's not gonna say anything. He's just putting up the horns. So one here, Tyler, interesting. I know he hinted at. Tyler hinted at he's a fan of this Alabama team. I'm gonna be a little biased on this one. UConn. They actually beat Georgetown twice this year, Tyler. They didn't beat Villanova, they didn't beat Creighton, but they have some good wins. They made it to the semis in the Big East tournament. Like I said, they got their ticket punched without having to win their conference tournament for the first time. And I don't know how long. I mean, Kemba and Shabazz, I'm pretty sure they both won the Big East tournament back in the day to make it into the tournament. So I just think they're a strong team this year. They have some good players. Book night, I think they get the upset.
I hate to break it to you, Austin, but I just don't think this UConn team can beat this Alabama team with their front court that they have. They play super fast.
Let me get one more.
They play great defense, but this is the NCAA tournament, baby, and UConn hasn't been there in 6 goddamn years.
Wow!
Bring them to the Sweet 16, Austin.
My God, he had me on a roller coaster of emotions here. I thought he was going to lean towards Alabama, and then he says, but he's done that twice to me. I'm about to have a heart attack. Golly. All right, Tyler. Texas.
I know you got a weak heart with them heart palpitations, but I got to get some blood flowing through them veins, baby.
I got to get it pumping. It's got to get my BPM down a little bit. I'm fucking wired up. Got the zins flowing through. Woo! Had some cold brew coffee earlier. All right, nice. UConn going to the Sweet 16 on the No Look podcast bracket. Next matchup here in our last to decide for the Sweet 16. I don't know how I wanted to word that. Midwest. Number 1, Illinois. 8, Chicago. Tyler, Fighting Illini, do they cruise at the number 1 seed here?
Battle of Lake Champlain, Loyola Chicago versus Illinois, in-state rivals that have never probably played against each other. They probably have. Check the stats. I know I'm wrong. But Illinois, too strong. They are going to absolutely show Loyola Chicago their place. I know Loyola Chicago, everybody's big on them because they're 24-4. Illinois is riding through this one.
Yep. I agree. Not much to say there. Tyler, 5 Tennessee versus 13 Liberty. I know you said Liberty was your dark horse. Do you think they can pull off another upset versus number 5 Tennessee? I mean, I know you feel strong about Tennessee too, right? Your sister's alma mater.
I do love some good old Rocky Top. Their fight song is fucking lit. Play it at any college party, you know you're gonna get a reaction. But like I said, Liberty, the dark horse of this tournament, rides on to the Sweet 16. Upsetting not only Oklahoma State, but Tennessee. They go for the 4, they go for the 5, they come for the jugular. Liberty.
I agree with you. I like this as a dark horse team. So we got 2 Cinderellas. 3, I guess you could say, if we're counting Georgetown. I don't really count them as a Cinderella because they play in the Big East and whatnot. But we have University of California, Santa Barbara at the 12 seed making the Sweet 16, and we also have number 13 Liberty squeaking past Tennessee to become yet another Cinderella story in the March Madness tournament. Next matchup, Tyler, 6 San Diego State versus number 3 Virginia. I thought Syracuse was going to beat San Diego State, so I'm not too strong on them. On the other hand, I love me some good West Virginia. Huggy, I think he gets his team ready, and I think they move on.
Huggy, I love you, but I got to go with a coin flip on this one. San Diego State pulling up the 3 versus 6 upset. I think they're a strong team. They have a great record. They're a well-balanced team. They're going to beat Syracuse. They're going to come off that win feeling right. West Virginia is not going to be ready for San Diego State.
All right. Got the coin flip. I feel like we haven't had too many in our past few picks, so I'm not arguing with it. Let's see what fate decides. And it is heads, so Tyler, San Diego State is going to move on. However, the next matchup, 7 Clemson versus 2 Houston. Tyler, Houston may be my top 4 favorite teams in this tournament. I think they've played well all year. They're kind of not a sexy team. No one's going to have them in a lot of their brackets. They're the 2 seed. But I think they get by Clemson here.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think Houston's going to be one of the teams that is going to be tough to beat this year. I'm riding with Houston on this one. Clemson, I don't even think is that good. I think we had them in a coin flip, so I'm rocking with you on Houston.
All right. There you have it, our Sweet 16. We have hit the hour mark, but guess what? We're not done. We're not going to leave you hanging. like on the season or season finale of Game of Thrones, where it's like cuts to black and you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. You have to wait a whole nother year. No, we're doing this all in one episode. We're gonna push back Monday Night Game a little bit because we do have to finish this. Tyler, going back here to the West region, number 1 Gonzaga versus 12 UCSB, University of California, Santa Barbara, are one of our Cinderellas. I don't think the Cinderella makes it to the glass slipper before midnight, if that's how it goes. I think they're sitting in the pumpkin carriage, and Gonzaga just takes care of them.
Like you said, the clock has struck midnight on my Santa Barbara team. Gonzaga, undefeated this year. They ain't losing to Santa Barbara this year. That's for sure.
Nope.
Gonzaga to the Elite Eight.
Zags to the Elite Eight. I'm glad we agree on that one. Another one I think we're going to agree on, Tyler. I'm going to kind of throw you a curveball here. I know I've been talking up USC. I think they are a team that will end up in the Sweet 16 that we have right now, obviously. But with that being said, I think Iowa is just too good. Fran McCaffrey, those big guys out there in Iowa chucking hay bales and shucking corn. They're out there. They got forearms the size of my quads. I think these guys make it to the Elite Eight, and we get a classic 1 versus 2 matchup.
I'm going to agree with you. Like I said, if you're not riding with me with Iowa after that first round speech, lose my number. Iowa by a lot against USC.
And you most likely still have his number because it's been the same number his whole life, so definitely won't be hard to lose. So we got the 1 versus 2 seed in the West region for the Elite Eight. Tyler, next matchup, 1 Baylor, 5 Villanova. I think the number 1 seed stays true in this matchup. Villanova, they had some bad losses this year, most recently to Georgetown in the semifinal of the Big East tournament. Baylor, too big, too tough, too physical.
I agree wholeheartedly. Baylor with the W. They got a guy on their team. I don't know if you're familiar with his name, but Flo Thamba. This guy is a forward, but he is a beast.
Wow.
He ain't losing to no Villanova. I'll tell you that.
What is it?
Baylor.
Flo what?
Flo Thamba. You're gonna see OT Genesis with a song called Flo Thamba after Sheck West made Mo Bamba.
I was gonna say that name is kind of like you're copying your friend's test, but it's like switch it up a little bit. You know, the essay.
You can copy, just change a few of the answers. You know.
Flo Thamba. All right, I like that. Next matchup, 3 versus 2, Tyler. Arkansas versus Ohio State. What are you thinking about this one? Is it time to cut off OSU?
Finally, it's time for me to say fuck you, OSU. I hope your Buckeye nuts are roasted well done, because Arkansas, I pray to God that you come to your senses. You go to the Elite Eight for probably the first time in school history for basketball. Arkansas versus Baylor.
I agree. All right, Tyler, we got some interesting matchups in this East region, which, like I said, is my favorite region for a few reasons. Georgetown, Patrick Ewing versus Michigan, Juwan Howard. I think the Wolverines are just too much, Tyler. They got a better team. I think that spark that's been fueling Georgetown is going to fizzle out at some point. I think it happens here versus Michigan.
I agree. Michigan just has too many threats on the floor. Georgetown making it to the Sweet 16. Hopefully gets better recruits in the future for Patrick Ewing. But, man, Michigan, too tough this year.
Either way, that's going to be an exciting matchup if it ends up happening. I'm looking forward to that. Tyler,
this East region's shaping out as my favorite region so far, just purely based off of who's playing in it, the teams that I think are gonna win. Michigan, though, they're one of my favorites for sure. And I Penn State fan, like I said, I hate Michigan wholeheartedly as well. But
so that means a lot. That means a lot coming from you. The teams, the players, the coaches. Tyler, number 3 Texas for 7 UConn. Yeah. He's throwing up the horns.
Hey,
being a UConn fan, I'm not going to throw up the horns on this one. But
Austin.
What?
Horns down, baby! Go UConn!
Oh, you're picking UConn?
We're going to the Elite Eight, Poppy. We got Brookside. We got whatever his name is. We got this guy, that guy. UConn don't care. Texas ain't that strong. They ain't got their muscle up like they thought they did when they had KD. We're going UConn on this one. Classic matchup, UConn versus Michigan.
Wow, I was going to pick Texas on that one, but shit, if Tyler's going to roll with the Huskies, I can't go against my team. They got James Bouknight. They got Tyler Pauley, Coach Dan Hurley. They're back in the Big East. This is UConn basketball, baby. Let's go. UConn Elite Eight. I'm digging it. Tyler's got me hyped up. I'm fired. I'm fired up. Shit. I don't even know what to do the rest of this. UConn to the Elite Eight. Let's go. Okay, next matchup. Number 1, Illinois. Number 13, Liberty. I'm a little lightheaded now. Tyler's dark horse here, and I agree with him. Liberty, I just think Illinois is too much. They have too much firepower. They play too good of basketball. They get into that half-court set. They're not going to make too many mistakes. They're going to rebound the basketball. They're not going to make turnovers. I think Illinois is just going to be too much. And Tyler,
what's his name? Ayo Donsamu.
Talk to him real quick. I'll be right back.
Ayo Donsamu with the classic Kobe pick holding the trophy. Like I said, Luke Garza out of the Big Ten as well for Iowa. I said he's going to be the MVP, all-tournament team. Well, Ayo Donsamu, I'm sorry I'm butchering
Huskies,
your name,
baby.
but he's also going to be tournament MVP or tournament all-player. Liberty, I love you, and I rocked with you this far, but Illinois takes the cake on this one, going to the Elite Eight.
Sorry, I had to grab a little UConn memorabilia, show that I am a true fan for the doubters at home, even though I don't give a fuck. I got Tyler on my side with the Huskies, and I also heard that he agreed with me on Illinois. I'm glad we're on the same page now. I mean, Tyler, this is where you can't really do coin flips because these matchups, you know where you're getting out of these teams. You know what's going to happen. Same said, and same goes for in this matchup. Number 2, Houston. They're one of my favorite teams in this tournament. I think they just, again, same type deal with Michigan over Georgetown. Too big, too strong, rebound the ball well. They play fundamental basketball, and they're not gonna beat themselves.
No, I agree. San Diego State going this far. This is where the road runs out. Unfortunately, they're gonna make a right turn and go straight to Mexico City, missing the game bus probably. I'm going Houston on this one. The matchup I want to see the most in this tournament: Illinois versus Houston in the Elite Eight. Exactly what I planned on happening. 1 versus 2.
All right, Tyler. I don't know. I kind of like this bracket. We got both of our choices, I guess, and a little bit of fate in there with the coin flips. Some of our, I don't know what the fuck word I'm thinking of, but our brains, our basketball knowledge, as well as a little bit of fate. Now we're really getting down to it. We got to decide on the Final Four. Number 1, Gonzaga versus number 2, Iowa. Tyler, the 1 versus 2 seeds. The overall number 1 seed of the tournament, Gonzaga, undefeated. But I don't know. I was leaning towards Iowa beforehand, and then your speech about Fran McCaffrey, it's got me even more fired up. I'm going Hawkeyes. Is that their mascot? I think.
You hear that? It's the Hawkeyes yelling. Luke Garza, baby. Patrick McCaffrey, Fran McCaffrey's son. They got more white boys on that court. They're ready to rock. They're ready to show Gonzaga up. They're ready to show Gonzaga what a real team plays like. Iowa out-rebounding, out-scoring, out-stealing, out everything against Gonzaga. Gonzaga loses their first game in the Elite Eight. Iowa going to probably their first Final Four in basketball history. Let's go.
I love it.
Luke Garza, baby.
Luke Garza. All right. We got our first Final Four team placed there. Iowa dethrones Gonzaga, the number 1 overall seed. Next matchup here, Tyler. Number 1 Baylor versus 3 Arkansas. I kind of like Arkansas a little bit better, but that being said, I feel like the number one seed always makes it out of the South region. I feel like the teams aren't really stacked as much. I know Villanova, when they won it all, they came out of this region. And I would like to have one number one seed make it to the Final Four. I think Baylor is that team for me.
Yeah, I knew that there was going to be one team that definitely wasn't going to make it. Obviously, Gonzaga not going to make it that far like everybody suspects. Baylor, man, they're just playing hell of a strong basketball season this year. It's so hard to go against them, especially against an Arkansas team. I'm riding with Baylor on this one.
All right, we got 2 out of 4 right there, Tyler. Next matchup, number 1 Michigan versus 7 UConn. He had me on a roll. I was gonna go Texas, and then I'm like, shit. If Tyler's rocking with the Huskies, I can't go against that. I don't know, because I feel like Texas is a tougher matchup for UConn, and I was gonna pick Texas over Michigan. But now that we have UConn in that spot, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see UConn going to the Final Four, if I'm being honest. Would I love to see that? Of course. But if we're talking about this matchup specifically, I think UConn, they're both fast teams. I think UConn is a little bit better shooting team. Michigan definitely is a better rebounding team. Might play a little bit better defense. But if there was going to be a team that UConn could beat to get to the Final Four, I think it's Michigan.
I love Michigan. I love Juwan Howard. I love what he's doing with the program. But you got a guy named James Bouknight out there with Tyler Polley at forward and some dude named Akako Cock rocking at forward as well. Andrew Hurley, son of the coach, Tyrese Martin playing out of his mind from Rhode Island. This team is all around the UConn team that, what's his face, back in the day, fucking, what's his name?
Jim
what's the
Calhoun?
coach's name? Jim Calhoun recruited. This UConn team is stacked. Don't go against them. You want to bet money on this game. You want to bet the upset. You want to bet the high upset. Welcome to the No Look Podcast. We are going to make you some money. UConn upsetting Michigan. What?
UConn to the Final Four! Hey, I'm all here for it, baby. Huskies, bleed blue, let's go. They have a strong squad, Tyler. I promise you.
I love this UConn team this year. Michigan, let's not forget, they lost to Illinois in the championship game for the Big Ten. Everybody was picking Michigan. The road runs to an end at some point. And unfortunately for Juwan Howard, I would love to see it, baby. I know that you want to win that championship, but you know, Chris Webber called a timeout and still traveled. And you guys lost in that year, too. So, hey, UConn.
Tyler, I know when you think of the best college basketball team over the past 20 years, you might not think of UConn. But with that being said, they have the most national titles in the past 20 years with 4. So, I mean, you may not have the best record overall, but when it comes down to it, March Madness, this team knows how to play. They know how to get the job done. So we got UConn miraculously with the 7th seed going to the Final Four against Iowa. Tyler, there's one spot left for the Final Four. Another 1 versus 2 matchup. Like I said earlier, I think we have one number 1 seed making it. I picked Baylor. I think Houston might have a slight edge over Illinois. Okay, so Illinois, in my opinion, better well-rounded basketball team, more fundamental. But I think Houston just has that X factor.
I'm going to disagree with you, Austin. Ayo Desamu, I'm butchering it, but this guy is the real deal. You put him up with Kofi Cockburn, absolute electric name. I think his cock's going to be burning all over this Houston team. They're just too strong. They're too good this year to lose to Houston. Although this is the game that I really want to see, Houston versus Illinois. I think it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be one of the best games in the NCAA tournament. I think it's going to be electric from start to finish, but Illinois squeaks out the W going to the Final Four.
All right, well, I don't know if it's going to be our final coin flip, but it's going to be our most detrimental one thus far, Tyler. Let's see what we got. And it is tails. We go with Houston for this one. I know Tyler doesn't feel great about it, but mark my words, Houston will definitely be there. If I had to pick Houston or Iowa, if I had to pick 2 out of 4 of these teams that I would say is in the Final Four, I'd say Houston and Iowa. But with that being said,
I could see. No, I will agree with that. The best number 2 seeds in the tournament this year are Iowa and Houston. They could easily be 1 seeds if the cards shuffled out in their favor. Obviously, I don't agree with it, but I'll let fate play its role. I know the coin flip is sacred here on the No Look podcast, so I will agree with it.
Yep, can't go against it. Can't mess up fate. Now, Tyler, we got
just know Cockburn might come for you. That's all I'm saying.
I hope Cockburn doesn't share his last name with me, and I don't want a Cockburn. That's what I'm getting at. Tyler, 2 Iowa versus 7 UConn. Number 1 Baylor versus number 2 Houston. Let's start with this Iowa versus UConn matchup.
It's easy for me. Fran McCaffrey coming off that extension. Luke Garza, tournament MVP like I predicted. Now even more so without Illinois in the Final Four. I just think this Iowa team is too well-rounded to lose this game against UConn.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But I do think UConn is going to play a very, very good game against them. I think they're going to be hauling oats, against this team, and they're going to be going absolutely brazy. But I think this Iowa team is just a little bit stronger than this UConn team.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I wasn't expecting to have UConn on my bracket this far, but I can clearly see it. I mean, back in the day, a little quick story. I know we're running over. We were at the Civic Center, Tyler, watching like sectional basketball games, and I don't know if it was the Saratogian, some local newspaper. Went up to Linda, my mother, and they ask her, who do you think is going to win March Madness this year, before the tournament? And she goes, I don't know. She didn't really know too much about college basketball. She's like, I know my family likes UConn, so I'll say the Huskies. What happens? Shabazz Napier, Jeremy Lamb, they end up taking UConn to the national championship game and winning it. Linda's out here looking like some college basketball guru to everyone else that was picking North Carolina and whatnot. They're like, what the hell? Anyways, that was just my 2 cents, a little quick story. So we got Iowa, which I do have in most of my other brackets, in the national championship game. Next matchup, another tough one for me, because number 1 Baylor versus 2 Houston. I know Tyler's not a fan of Houston. He didn't even want them in this matchup. But I have to lean towards them. I don't think Baylor's as strong of a team. I think they're in a weak region in the South, and they kind of get by. All right, we're back. Tyler just gave a very heartfelt explanation on who he picks. Tyler, I'm going to let you redo that. I'm not sure how much they missed. We got Iowa versus Houston in our national championship game. Who you got?
In the lowest, like I said, national championship scoring game in NCAA history, Luke Garza shows why he's a first-round draft pick this year, averaging 25, 12, 5, maybe assists in there. I'm rocking with Iowa here. I love them too much this year. I think that they're a well-balanced team. Losing to Illinois, they got the fire under their ass. Like I said, you hang Luke Garza's number in the rafters, you're going to be hanging it in the NCAA Hall of Fame. This guy is the real deal. Probably a bigger story than Tyler Hansbrough, when it comes to NCAA. But nobody talks about him. Nobody talks about little old Luke Garza. Instead, you got teams like Michigan. You got teams like Illinois. You got teams like, Gonzaga that are taking the spotlight. This Iowa team's coming pissed off. Fran McCaffrey comes off a contract extension. He's going to show why he got that contract extension. They shut down Houston. They win it. Hey, they're in Indianapolis this year, closer to Iowa, probably going to be jam-packed. The Hawkeyes are going to be going crazy. Iowa with their first ever national championship. Sign,
Yep.
seal, deliver. Houston, we have a problem.
I agree with you, Tyler. Glad we can agree on this one. If we had to do a coin flip for the national championship game, that would have left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. However, I agree. Also, it's going to be very low scoring. I think Iowa plays a little bit better defense, and they just rebound a little bit better. They hit the right shots. They're a very fundamental team. I think they come up with the win. Real quick, we got to hit our final score. Low scoring. What do you think? 50s? Again, the 60s.
52-48.
52-48 Iowa over Houston. And that is official. I'm going to submit the picks. Lock it in to the official No Look Podcast bracket. We got the Iowa Hawkeyes cutting down the nets in Indianapolis. All right, Tyler. We're 24 minutes past the hour. We do have to get into the Monday Night Gaming. Again, people at home, don't forget there will be an extra No Look Podcast episode Thursday night, 8 p.m. EST, right before Thirsty Thursday. Tyler and I, we're going to get into a lot of the NFL free agent signings and moves that are going on. Just because there is a lot, Tyler, so we got to talk about it.
Hopefully a lot more people decide on where they're going. Also, big retirement news as many people had seen. But stay tuned for the No Look Podcast. Special week, 2-episode week. We typically don't do this, but we feel so strongly that we have to. We're very inclined to the NFL, so a lot of news coming your way on Thursday.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm going to shut it down real quick. Stick around. We got Monday Night Gaming coming up right now.